Hey there. I just wanted to take a moment, 3.5 years into the podcast, to check in with you and give you a little background about why I started it and where it's going. So the podcast grew out of the intersection of my lifelong career in the performing arts and my practice as a life coach. When everything shut down in 2020, I felt inspired, even called, to connect with and hold space for the Broadway community and to check in on how they were managing to stay energetically engaged during those challenging times. I had absolutely no idea how to do a podcast. All I knew was that I wanted to help. My first 3 guests were my students. Brilliant artists at the beginning of their careers, all 20 years old and in Broadway shows that had been put on hold or canceled. I picked up the phone and called them and asked them if they wanted to have a conversation. They all said yes. It was the first time, believe it or not, that I had ever used Zoom. I'll never forget sitting at the dining room table, opening up my laptop and just going for it. Those first 3 and most of the conversations from the first season were completely unedited, recorded with no equipment from the dining room table of my dad's chalet while isolating in the mountains of Quebec. It is not lost on me how fortunate I was and continue to be to have the pleasure of engaging in these deep, meaningful conversations with these extraordinary, successful, passionate artists from all genres on both sides of the proscenium, from Broadway to Hollywood and beyond, who are interested in having real conversations about the art of living in the moment and embracing who we are and where we are at. I curate these conversations and provide a safe space in which the guests can not only share insights with you, my listeners, but so that they too can discover new insights about themselves. I've often been told by my guests that they've shared more than they ever have anywhere else, and that they appreciated it not being a press junket. What they do is their context, not who they are. I'm so deeply interested in the human behind the headlines. Although all my guests are extraordinary innovators and creative artists, at the end of the day, they, like you, are remarkable, resilient human beings. Along the way, I began sharing some of my own reflections and in-the-moment insights in shorter, thought-provoking episodes. They were so well received that I added them to the format, interspersing them with my longer form interviews. In 2023, I started to share my meditations and coaching exercises on the show so that my listeners can have tools and applications of insights that might help them live in the moment. It's hard to believe that it's been 3.5 years since I started this podcast, and it continues to be the joy of my life. I am so honored to host and eternally grateful for my guests and for you, my listeners, for taking the time to stop time and be in the moment with me. But it's a labor of love, my friends. So please, if you enjoy the show, please subscribe, review, respond, connect, send me some feedback. Shoot me an email, and above all, share with anyone else that might resonate with what it means and feels like to live in the moment. I'm Lisa Hopkins. Thanks so much for listening. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. And remember to live in the moment.